This is Super Yacht News with Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. Okay, on my left hand side here you can see a photograph of the James Bond themed super yacht named 007. This boat sank last year after running aground just off the island of Kythnos, which is in Greece. She hit some rocks, the bulbous bow was punctured, and for some reason the boat started to take on water. I say for some reason because it should have a collision bulkhead there to prevent that from happening. But anyway, the boat went into the bay there and turned over, capsized and sank. Now the boat has been there ever since. Until recently, the owner was apparently offered an interesting deal by the government of Greece, saying that you either get rid of the boat or we'll get rid of it for you and send you the bill. And the boat was recovered. Now we mentioned this in the previous video, that the boat was then towed to a shipyard in Aganlar in Turkey. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation. And we didn't have any photographs. Well, now we have a photograph to show you that the boat is in that shipyard there. It's waiting, looking a bit sorry for herself. And it looks like the boat is going to be repaired, so that's good news. So we'll move on to the next one, and this is another yacht sighting. This is Motor Yacht Pure. Now this was formerly Motor Yacht Sarafsa. You know the story about that. I'm not going to go over it again. The boat is now in Malta, and I believe is waiting to go into a dry dock. And as you can see from the photographs, the name Sarafsa has now been removed from the boat as it has been renamed Motor Yacht Pure. Obviously the name's not been put on yet. They'll have to buy new signs, have them made, probably go to Yacht Signs, one of the biggest companies that deals with yachts. Have the signs, obviously get the logo designed, have the yacht signs made, the LED lights put in, sent out, and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to take some time, and it's going into a refit period and having a hull painted, so no need to put them on just yet. So yeah, anyway, that boat is in Valletta in Malta. On to the next yacht sighting. Motor Yacht Nord is sighted again in the Seychelles. She is, as you can see on the photographs here, she remains in the Seychelles near Eden Island, I'm reliably informed. The person who sent it in said the boat dwarfs everything else that goes near her. So yeah, she's a big girl. All right, so we'll move on to our first story, and this is about Motor Yacht Sea Rhapsody. She is moving in the Seychelles. Now, it doesn't sound like a newsworthy story that a boat is moving. That's what they do, but this boat hasn't moved for over a year. Now, she's been in Victoria since March last year. Now, the owner is a Russian called Andrei Kostin, and he is the president of the Russian state-owned bank VTB. And he's been under sanctions with the US, the EU, and the UK since last year, hence the boat hasn't moved. Now this, like I said, the fact that it's started to move now is quite interesting. Now the boat moved out of Victoria and went out to sea for a little while and then returned. Now it's possible that the boat has just done a quick sea trial because it hasn't moved for so long, but usually that happens when it's about to go somewhere else, or maybe the boss is going to go out there, the owner of the boat is going to go out there for a trip. Now, the boat was deregistered, or appears to have been deregistered from its flag in March 2022. Another reason why the boat wouldn't have moved. And then it was re-registered in Malaysia in November 2022. Malaysia becoming popular with yachts because of all of the deregistering that's happening. And we will keep you informed if the boat goes anywhere else. All right, on to the next story. And this is about Motor Yacht Lana. Now, Lana has been renamed. Now, this is an interesting development because this is a Russian-owned super yacht. This boat was chartered by Mr. Usmanov, who owns Dilbar, and obviously his boat has been in Germany since last year as well, and he's not been able to get a hold of his boat. Now, this boat is a 107 meter or 351 foot boat built by Benetti, delivered in 2020. She's one of 3 vessels that Benetti built over 100 meters. Now, like I said, we know the boat is Russian owned, but we don't know who the owner is. If you know who the owner is, please get in touch. Now, the vessel has been renamed to Motor Yacht Mar, M-A-R. After the Ukraine invasion and ensuing sanctions, the yacht headed to Turkey, which is where most of the yachts went, isn't it? Where she stayed for an awful long time. And in February this year, she moved to Dubai, where she's currently located. Now, also, we noticed that in January of 2023, the registered owner on the IMO database also changed. I'll put it on screen here. So it is possibly a new owner, but it's also possibly just changing things around. You know, it's the same owner, but they've moved it from one company to another. So yeah, we can't be sure because, like I said, we don't know who the owner is currently, but we do know it is Russian owned. So anyway, new name for that boat. Okay, so we'll go on to the next story now. Now, speaking of 100-meter plus boats built by Bonetti, this is about Motor Yacht Luminosity, which is another of those 3 boats that they built in recent years that's over 100 meters. Motor Yacht Luminosity has had a temporary freezing order against the boat in Montenegro. Now, we've been talking about this boat on and off for the last couple of weeks now. Now, the freezing order prevents the yacht from leaving the port of Tivat. You know, the boat has been there for a year, so it's unlikely to go anywhere anyway. But what we've been told by confidential sources is that there's an outstanding debt to local suppliers of approximately 200,000 euros. This is to do with like fuel and provisions, things like that. Now, the monies have been owed for some time, the sources tell us, and the boat will most likely be arrested when the courts are back in session next week. We've also been told that there are a number of crew that haven't been paid for a number of months. Some of the crew are owed an awful lot of money. Apparently, some crew members are owed almost 100,000 euros. And we've been in contact with some former crew, and they've said that once they've left the boat, even when the crew who are on board have been paid, the former crew are not getting paid. Again, we've not been able to verify this. We have been in contact with the company that is reported to be the one that is meant to be paying them, and so far we've had no reply. We've also been in contact with the lawyers of the person who we believe owns the boat, which is Andrei Guryev Sr. Now, you'll remember his name from motor yacht Alfa Nero, which is in Antigua. His lawyers have denied that he owns that boat. We contacted the lawyer and asked for confirmation that he is the owner of that boat, but so far we've had no reply. All right, and speaking of Andrei Guryev and Alfa Nero, this is our next story, and that is that Alfa Nero was boarded by the Antiguan military on Saturday, which is yesterday, at 1000 hours. They are known as the Antiguan Defense Force, and they boarded the boat and officially took over that boat. Now, we knew this was coming, and we expected it to happen a few days earlier, but apparently it was postponed after talking with getting legal advice, the government, and they postponed it. And they had initially said they were going to go on Tuesday, but obviously it's been speeded up for some reason. They boarded the boat at 1000 hours. Our eyewitness said that they were on board for about 2 hours. Now, a reporter on the scene said that there were 5 crew on board still. Now, we had mentioned in a previous video that there were 5 crew, and the captain had informed the government that the final crew members were going to leave. And I said that it's possible that the government might have asked them to stay because it doesn't make any sense to let them leave. Maybe the government was paying them. It doesn't make any sense to let the final crew leave and then nobody knows that boat. Now, the reporter said that the 5 crew had been ejected from the boat, but our eyewitness said that he was there when the military went on and when they came off, and he didn't see any crew members leave. That's the news, is that the boat has been officially taken over by the Antiguan government. If you are one of those crew members on board, please get in touch. We'd love to talk to you. Now, with regards to the sale, now we know that the boat is being bid on by various different people. The governments have let a few things slip. Now, what they have said, now this is very important if you're buying a yacht, is that you want to know that there's not going to be any debts against that yacht when you purchase it, right? You buy the boat and all of a sudden someone comes to you and say, that boat owes me $250,000. But the government have put out a statement, said that the purchaser will inherit no liabilities except that the repairs and regained seaworthiness of the vessel will fall to the purchaser/new owner. So that's good news for whoever buys the yacht. Okay, so recently we caused a bit of confusion on the channel. We posted a couple of short videos, segments of the previous Superyacht news. We chopped up the stories individually and we posted a couple of them on the channel as an experiment to see how it would go. But we didn't identify them properly as what they were, and it caused a bit of confusion. So I apologize for that. If you were one of the ones who was confused, or if you were one of the ones that didn't like this new way of doing things. We put up a poll, in fact, to see what people thought about the idea of, instead of having one video, which that particular video was 18 minutes long. So we thought, well, maybe we'll chop it up and we'll put them on like that. So most of the people in the poll, 3,500 people, remember there's 230,000 subscribers. So the poll, 3,500 people voted and 70% said, leave it as it is. 15% said we should have the shorts and 15% said we should have both. So we don't want to upset our regulars. So what we decided to do is we've created a new channel and it's called Super Yacht News. And what we're going to do is we're going to post the main video on this channel as normal, so nothing will change. And then on the Super Yacht News channel, we're going to post each individual story as a separate video. Also, whenever we post shorts on the main channel, people get upset with that as well. So we're going to post the shorts videos on that other channel also. So that hopefully that will please everybody. Those of you who like the short form factor and those of you who would prefer to have both, so you can have a choice. If you can shoot over to the other channel and subscribe. In fact, there's no subscribers on the other channel right now. So if you want to get over there and you can be the first subscriber, there is a link below in the description. The channel is called Super Yacht News. And like I said, we'll post all of the stories in individual bite-sized chunks on there. Now we do have, I've spoken to many people, like I spoke to a captain on one boat that we went on to do a ship's tour, and he said that he loves the channel, but he doesn't have time to watch an entire video, and he'd like to see shorter videos. So this is a good idea. Also, in that previous video, I had like 4 great titles, and I can only give the video one title, right? So there's 4 stories in that video, and I've got 4 titles, but I can only use one of them. So this way I get to post each story with its own title. So that's the plan. Like I said, be sure to shoot over, because we're not going to get any money for that other video, for that other channel, until we get enough subscribers and enough viewing time. And it is a business at the end of the day. So if you can shoot over there and subscribe, that would be great to help us out. All right, guys. So one last thing, be sure to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/esysman. We just posted another video in a new series called Patron Chat. You'll get to see other exclusive videos not published on YouTube, like the Atlantic vlog series. You'll get early access to features advert free. You get to suggest topics for future videos, and you'll get to ask questions for Patreon only Q&As. If you've got any information about any of the stories here tonight, such as who the owner of Lana is, or Motor Yacht Mar as it's now called, be sure to get in touch through the normal channels. You can get us on the About page of the YouTube channel. You can get us on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger. You can also get us on Threema. Be sure to like this video, very important. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for future notifications. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye. Have a great Easter.